Today's assignment is really similar to the assignment we did last time. It's called They're Having a Sale. So, we're going to be using the same basic method that we used in calculating tips. And again, today the answers are not expected to be perfect, they just need to be close. And it's usually a lot faster to do this math in your head than it is to pull your phone out and find a calculator and type it in. And so we're going to be calculating sale prices in our heads. And you should be relatively close, depending on how big the number is. You should be somewhat close to it. So number one, a shirt that normally is listed at $34.95 is 20% off. So at first it asks, how much do you save? Well, I might as well round $34.95 up to $35. So $35. 10% of $35 is $3.50. And $3.50 times 2 would represent 20% off, so that would be $7. How much will you save? $7. So what's the final cost of the shirt? Well, it's about $35 minus about $7, so it would end up being about $28. I don't think I've ever spent $28 on a shirt in my entire life. That's on my bucket list. When I'm done, I hope never to spend that much on a shirt. So, what's the actual price? So $34.95. Let me do this on the calculator. The actual price is $27.96. So we're only 4 cents off. That gives a really accurate description of what it's going to be. A pair of pants is listed at $54.50, and they're now 40% off. So I'm going to round that up to 55 because 55 is easier to work with. 10% of 55 would be $5.50. You could round down to 54, but 550 is a lot easier to multiply than 540 is. So I decided to round it up to 550. And this represents 10% of the original amount. So what do I need to do to that to figure out a 40% reduction? Times it by 4, or you could double it and double it again. That's probably easier. What's 550 times 2? 11. So if I turn that into 11, now it's a lot easier to double 11 than it is to multiply 550 times 4. So times that by 2, and I get $22. So the savings will be $22. And if I were doing it in my head, multiplying by 2 twice is a lot easier than multiplying by 4. So that's how I would have chosen to do it. And maybe you'll find an easier way. Whatever you do is fine, as long as you end up with somewhat close to the true answer. So, what do I do with the $22 now? Subtract it from the original, $32.50. What's the actual amount? Let me type this in. The actual amount is 32.7. So our estimation is very, very close. Okay. A pair of shoes is listed at $62.25, and they're now 25% off. Okay. What would you round 62 to be? We could, so 62.25, we could round it to 62, we could round it to 63. What if we rounded it to 60? Is that too far off? Well, let's round it to 60 and just see what happens. So 60 is certainly a lot easier than some of the other numbers I could round it to. 10% of $60 is $6. And what do I do with that $60 to calculate a 25% price reduction? What's an easy way to convert this 10% into 25%? Yeah. So, so this is 10%. I need another 10%. So I could times it by 2 or add 6 to it. That's the other 10%, but I want 25%. So I also need to add half of that. So 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15. But that number is going to be a little bit small, right? I rounded this quite a bit. I rounded $2.25 off. So I could adjust this a little bit. How much do you think I would need to add back to make up for the amount I lost? $1, 50 cents, 75 cents? I'm just going to guess 75 cents because 225, I want to get rid of a quarter of that, right? A quarter of $2 is 50 cents. So this is how much I got rid of, and I need to account for that back in the original. So I'm going to take 25 cents, 3 times, about 75. I'm going to guess 15.75. The actual amount, 62.25. So the actual amount is 15.56. That's the savings. So sometimes it's easier to round off a lot and then sort of guess what you need to put back in. And that's okay. This is just an estimation. So whether you're all right dealing with a less nice number and then just running with it, or making the number really easy and then adapting it later, it doesn't really matter. And you'll kind of get good at guessing how much do I put back in, or is it even worth messing with it. So my 1575, if I subtract that off of here, so that would be 46.50. That would be the price of the shoes, which is only about 20, 19 cents off the actual price. So we did a pretty good job. Okay. All of those sales were less than 50%. But what if something is really on sale? If an item is discounted more than 50%, it's often faster to skip calculating what the savings are and go directly to the price of the item. For instance, suppose a tool normally priced at $44.95 is now 90% off. It would be a better idea to calculate 10% of the price instead of 90% of the price. So let's perform that calculation. I'm going to round this up to $45. I want to calculate a 90% savings. So I move the decimal one place and I get 4.5. Does it make sense to multiply that by 9 and then subtract it from the original $45? No. Because when I'm done, I'm going to get this. 4.5 is the number I'm looking for. That's, if you lose 90% of the price, 10% of the price remains. So if the discount is more than 50%, don't bother calculating the discount. Just skip straight to the ending price. Does that make sense? Okay. So in this case, $4.50, and that's only going to be about 1 penny off the actual number. A hat that you cannot do without is now 85% off. I'm going to forget the whole 85%, and instead, I'm going to calculate 15%. So I skip the sale price, or the price discount, and go straight to the ending price. So, $37.24. What would you round that to? You could round it to 38. You could round it to 36. Could you even round it to 40? If you rounded it to 40, that's kind of a stretch, so you need to adapt it a little bit later. Let's try a couple of those. Let's try 38. So 38 turned into a decimal is 3.8. What do I do to 3.8 to find the price? This represents 10%. How much more do I need? I need 5 more percent, which would be half of 3.8 is $1.90. Add those together, 3, 4, $5.70 would be the sale price. Okay. If we did it the other way, and we rounded it straight to 40, that would be $4 plus $2 is $6. How much should I get rid of? Well, I rounded it up $1.76. So I'm really looking at about 15% of that. So 17 cents plus half of 17 cents, which is about 8 cents. So I'm really only off 25 cents-ish. So I could subtract that 25 off of here, which is going to give me an answer pretty close to that. The actual answer, 37.24, would be $5.58. That's the actual value. So there are a couple ways to do this. And again, as long as your answer is close, that's good enough. We're just going to make the judgment, should I buy it or should I not? And if you're looking at it, is that price or this price or that price really going to change your mind very much? No. I mean, we're talking 30 cents, maybe up to 40 cents total between all the different answers. Not a big deal. Okay. Your favorite video game costs $68.67, but during Black Friday it's 80% off. How much will it cost? What should we round that up or down to? I would round it to 70. 68 is a pretty big number. So the difference between 68 and 70 is not that much. The difference between $1 and $3, that's a lot. Right? $3 is 3 times bigger than $1. But where $68 is so big, rounding it up to 70 is not going to make that much of a difference. So we start with 70 and turn it into 10%, which would be 7. What do I do to $7? Times it by 2. So now I'm at $14, but I would expect that to be big. So I might change it to be $13.50, $13.75. I would just take a little bit off, not a lot, just a little bit. The actual value, 68.67 at 80% off is 13.73. So we're only 27 cents off. Okay? A magical toothbrush for $89.98 is now 75% off. No question how we want to round this. We want to round it to 90. That's the closest number. It's a very easy number. So I change that to 90, and now I take 10% of 90, which is $9. What should I do with that $9? How do we calculate 75% savings if we know that 10% of the original cost is $9? Times it by 2. What does that bring me up to? $18, which represents 20%. And I want to reach 25%. So what should I do now? Add half of the original 10% back. So plus 4.5. So 22.5. rack. All items on the clearance rack at 75% off the normal price. If the entire rack had now been marked down an additional 40%, find the final price for all of the items below. I was in Walmart once, and something like this came up. Somebody got over the loudspeaker and said, the clearance rack is 75% off, but until 5 o'clock, it's an additional 40% off for a total savings of 115%. And I thought, great, I'll take the whole rack. Somebody obviously did not understand percentages. Right? It doesn't work that way. If that were true, then I would take the whole rack and they would pay me 15% for taking them, which would be nice, but it doesn't work that way. What does it mean? How do you take 40% off the original 75% off? So you calculate the 75%, and then you calculate 40% after that. Right? So, $18.95. I'm going to go ahead and round that to 20. 20 is a really easy number to work with, and it's only about $1 off. So, 20. How do I calculate 75% off of 20? So, turn it into 10%, which is 2. Then what? Times, we're doing 75%. So I'm going to times it by 2, or add 2, either way. And then that brings me up to 20%. I need another 5%, which is half of 2, so $5. On the clearance rack, that $18.98 shirt is worth about $5. But it is now 20 or 40% off of that. So I take that 5 and I turn it into 10% again, which is 0.5. How many 0.5s does it take to get to 20%? Or 40%, sorry. 4 of them. So what is 50 cents times 4? $2. So that's about $2. What does $2 represent? That's how much more you're going to save above the original discount. So I subtract that from here, and I get roughly $3. The actual value, let me calculate it. The actual value is $2.84. So we're only 16 cents off. Okay. So a pair of pants costs $35.75. If I turn that into 10%, I get $3.5. I want to calculate 25%, so I would add that 3.5% again. That brings me up to 20%. And then half of that would be $175. So 378.75. Now I need to take 40% off of this. So I'm going to change it to 9. $9. That turns into about 90 cents. And I need 4 90 centses, which is about $3.60. That's 90 cents times 4. And then I'm going to subtract that from the original $8.75, and I get $5.15. If I calculate it out, 35.75. The actual amount is $5.36. So we're pretty close. Okay, do we get the hang of this? No calculators. You go ahead and write some of the math on the paper if you want to. I prefer that you do it in your head. I'll put the answers up on the board. And again, the answers are not supposed to be perfect. They just need to be close. If your answers are way off, come talk to me, and we'll see what it is you're not doing right. They should be pretty close.